Well, sometimes we have strange readings on our Sunday morning lectionary, and I think today was one of the stranger ones. That passage from the book of Genesis. The first part seemed all right. I mean, that's kind of in our imagery that we have in our church. We have that kind of fixed in our minds where Abram is there before God. First of all, I should say Abram means exalted father. Abraham means father of many. So God changed Abram's name to Abraham later. So that's why it's called Abram right here. So Abram is there complaining to God, saying, what am I going to do? A servant in my house, Eliezer of Damascus, is going to inherit all I have. I don't have any children. It's important to note that in that day and age, people considered the lack of children to be a curse from God. Not just the lack of a blessing, but a curse. Now I know, sometimes modern day parents in the middle of the night might think it's the other way around. Abram felt very bad about the fact that God had not given him a child. And he was complaining. And God said, come on outside, take a look up. See those stars? How many are there? Can you count them? That's how many descendants you will have. So, Abram believed God, and the passage says it was credited to him as righteousness. Now, Paul, later, in the New Testament, took that concept and made it central to his teaching. That it was the fact that Abram believed God that was credited to Abram as righteousness. Not anything that Abram did. And Paul points out to us, this is before the law. Before Moses. Before any of the laws were given. So Moses couldn't receive righteousness by doing all the right things because there was no law at that time. And yet God credited this faith to him, this trust in God as righteousness. So Abram trusted in God, but he still had a problem. And that was, God had said he was going to have all this land. And how did he know that he would have this land? Now, children are important, and so is land. And when you look through all the books of Moses, you see that there's a lot tied up in inheritance, having a child, and preferably a male, specifically a male, having a male child, and having the male child inherit the land. And if none of that happened, then everything was wrong. So Abram had two big problems. One is he didn't have a child, and the second was, how was he going to keep the land once he was dead if he didn't have a child? So God said, okay, this is what you need to do. And this is where it gets weird, right? God says, bring me a goat, a heifer, a goat, and a ram, 3 years old, and a pigeon and a turtle dove, and cut the heifer and the goat and the sheep in half, and you didn't have to kill the bird. He didn't have to cut the birds in half. He had to kill them. So they're all sacrificed, and spread them out like that. And then it doesn't tell us why, but we are told that in the night there came a smoking fire pot and a blazing torch down the middle, and then Abram knew that it was okay. So I guess, I don't know, if you cut an animal in half and waited in the night and saw a torch go down the middle of you, I don't know if you'd feel okay or not. I'm not sure if it had the same impact on you today as it did on Abram back then. But what it was, this was a custom that people had. When they wanted to make a holy oath, to swear, they would cut something in an animal in half, sacrifice it, and walk between it. And they'd say, may God do to me and more so if I don't fulfill my promise to you. So this was a very deep thing. Remember kids would say, cross my heart and hope to die? Older people don't say that because it's too close to reality. You realize that, yeah. So, we do make contracts though, and we have contracts with repercussions. You sign a contract that you're going to, that you can sign a contract with someone to come and build a house for you, and you put in the contract that if it's not done on a certain day, then you're going to take 10% off for every month that they're late, or something like that. And then, so we have contracts, we have repercussions, and even if there's no repercussions written into a contract, we all know that the courts will back us up. We can go to court over this and get it settled eventually. We can get a lawyer if anybody could find. Oh, there's a good lawyer right there. We should get a good lawyer, and we could have it all sorted and all settled in no time at all, at no cost. So, sorry, I have to get everybody today, David. It's all right.
We all have boss leaders.
That's right. But in those days, that was a very serious thing. You might remember the passage. Do not urge me to leave you or forsake you. Where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates me from you. Now, do you know where that's from? Look at that, eh? Wow. Right away. Right in there, Ruth. And Ruth said it to Naomi, her mother-in-law. That's not the kind of commitment that people make to their mothers-in-law these days, right? Times have changed. Ruth said it to Naomi, her mother-in-law, because it sounds like you know the story very well. Naomi and her husband, with their 2 sons, moved to Moab. Naomi's husband and 2 sons died. Before the sons died, they married Ruth and Orpah. I forgot that one. Ruth and Orpah. And when the sons died, Naomi said, see you girls, I got to go back to my own home country. And Orpah said, see ya. And Ruth said, do not urge me to leave you or depart from you. Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. May God deal with me ever so severely, if anything but death. That's one translation. Another translation is, if even death parts me from you. Where you die, and I will die, and I'll be buried where you're buried. All that was there for Ruth. So Ruth followed Naomi, looked after Naomi, met Boaz, married Boaz, had a child named Perez, who had a child named Jesse, who had a child named David, who was the king of Israel, the ancestor of Jesus. That's why genealogy is important, right? You got to get all those things so you know what's going on here. So the vow that Ruth made to her mother-in-law was instrumental, or at least a part, of the genealogy of Jesus. So vows can be very important. But then Jesus came along and he said, do not swear by this holy mountain. Do not swear by the temple. Do not swear by God in heaven. You can't even turn one hair of your head, which is a sore point, either white or black. Just let your yes be yes and your no be no. We have a saying, a person is as good as their word. So Jesus said, don't do any of that. Now, if you and I say to each other, let's meet Tuesday at 2 o'clock at the Cozy Corner for a hot chocolate, we would probably be there. But we have an understanding that if something came up that was really important, or we were ill, or we just didn't feel like it that day, we would call the other person and say, sorry, I can't make it today, rain check. It's not like a vow that's really, really serious, so it's not like a yes be yes and a no be no, maybe. We have varying degrees of intensity of our commitments. We make a vow at our baptism. We renew that vow at our confirmation. In fact, we renew those vows every time we have a baptismal service. We all renew our baptismal vows. And in a sense, we renew our vows every time we say the creed together. This is what we believe. Jesus said to his disciples, if you would be my disciples, take up your cross and follow me. Now, we don't have any place in the New Testament that I'm aware of where Jesus makes a vow that he's going to save the world. It's not listed there. But is there any doubt? There's no doubt that he made that vow. The passage today, and tomorrow, and the third day, I will complete what I have to do. Today and tomorrow and the third day. It says it twice in case anybody was slow there, so that later on, when they look back, oh yeah, 3 days, Jesus would rise from the dead. They would understand that in hindsight, even though they obviously didn't know what he was saying in advance. When we get to, I think it's Palm Sunday, the readings from Isaiah chapter 50 or 52, can't remember now. I have set my face like a flint. Jesus had this sense of where he was going, and there was no diverting him, no turning him back, no turning aside. He was going where he was going to go. No vow was taken that we're aware of. Jesus didn't say, I swear by God in heaven, I cross my heart, hope to die, and I walk between these bloody pieces of meat, that I will die on the cross. He just said, that's what I'm going to do. That's where I'm going to go. That's who I am. And you know what? If you want to be a part of what I'm a part of, then you better take up your cross and follow me, Jesus said to his disciples. So when we think about our commitments in life and our vows, we should see them as very holy, sacred, profound. I was preparing a couple for a wedding once, and they wanted to leave out the part, till death do us part. And I said, no, that's part of the service. That's really important. Why do you want to leave it out? And they said, well, we know that sometimes marriages break down, and people don't fulfill that, and we don't want to make a commitment that we might possibly not be able to fulfill. And in a sense, they had it the other way around. They saw the commitment as so holy and so sacred, they didn't know if they could measure up. And they didn't want to say something that they couldn't do. So it wasn't that they saw the vow as inappropriate. They saw the vow as so wonderful, so immense, that they didn't think that they could do it. In the end, at the wedding day, that's not really the end. At the wedding day, they made the commitment. I don't know what the end is. I don't know. I'd like to go back sometime and find out what happened to all the couples that I married, or that I did the wedding for. I didn't. They made a commitment to each other that included till death do us part, because they understood it meant to give all that they were and all that they had, to do their very best to fulfill this. And I think part of what Jesus wants for us is to kind of live in another realm. I mean, we know that things happen in life, that there are trials and difficulties. When I was studying theology, our New Testament professor, I don't know if he got this from the Bible, but he said there was a letter from a young man who wrote to his beloved saying, my love is deeper than the ocean, higher than the heavens, higher than the highest mountains. My love shines brighter than the sun. My love is stronger than anything. And he ended the letter by saying, I'll see you next weekend if it's not raining. Sometimes life seems to get in the way. But when you think about Jesus going to the cross, there's something about how he pushed through. And it's almost like from a hero action movie, where on their way there they lose their clothing, they lose body parts, they lose everything, and just the one person standing there at the end against the world. And that's really what Jesus was like. Everything fell away from him. His friends fell away. His disciples, one betrayed him, the rest deserted him. He stood before Pilate. Everything was gone. And even on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? Everything was gone. But there was something that was going on inside of Jesus. And that was the vow that he had made, which was who he was. Jesus was his word. Jesus was the word. Jesus was the one who said, I will save the world. And he did. And if we can get into our own hearts that sense of absolute and utter commitment to God, that no matter what comes our way in life, no matter what disturbs us, interrupts us, affects us, afflicts us, annoys us, destroys us, or hurts us, we'll still have our hearts set on Christ. And if at times we become wayward, we fail God, we give up, if that happens at times, when we're in the depths of our despair, sorrow, or depression, we can think again. What was it Jesus said? Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. How often would I have gathered you together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings? When we're lost and know that we've made a mess of things, just think of the all-covering love of Jesus wanting to bring us back, hovering over us like a brooding hen to draw us in, bring us back to where it's warm and comfortable again, and make us know that we are the children of the mighty God, still in the presence of the one who died for us. Our vows are not about what we will do or won't do. Our vows are about who we are. We are the people of God. We are the ones who believe in Christ, and it is credited to us as righteousness. We are the ones that hold Christ in our hearts because we know that Christ holds us so very near and close to him. Holds us in his heart. There is no need any longer for us to make sacrifices of other things to be in the presence of God. For that has been done. The sacrifice is full and complete. And we, by God's grace, enter into that presence. We stand before God, confident in the righteousness that God has given to us.